All right, get ready for this one. It's icky. What a great way to start a show. Icky. Very intellectual word, Jeff. Way to go. It is icky. I'm going to try to argue. I'm going to try. I am. I don't care what you do. I'm going to try to make an argument here. But as a parent, this one's tough. It's a little tough to take. But here we go. If you think, anybody remember candy cigarettes? Anybody remember that? If you think candy cigarettes should be outlawed, and I believe that they are, and they're outlawed because they are pretend smoking. And the idea is, by your political heroes who make laws, the idea is that, well, we shouldn't have pretend smoking. We shouldn't have anything that is related to smoking in any way that would encourage anyone to start at a young age. It's the concept behind outlawing Joe Camel. Okay? How do you feel about if you don't like and think it should be against the law to have pretend smoking, how do you feel about pretend betting? Yeah, I said it. I don't know any other way to spin this. I'm pretty sure that's a fair assessment. Now, the creators would argue, maybe even they legally would argue, well, we're not pretend betting, we're just playing games. It's awfully close to the real thing. Pretend betting. And yes, it's a thing. And yes, it's in the news now because, for obvious reasons, this is the biggest week of sports betting in this country. It's reported that almost 66% of adults will make legal bets on the Super Bowl. That's just a number that's just unbelievable. So we're going to bet, and we're going to bet reportedly more than $23 billion on the Super Bowl. Sports betting is now legal in 38 states and the District of Columbia, certainly not in the state of Texas. But I think one day it will be legal in the state of Texas. So it's a big week of betting. Our embracing betting has changed. The NFL embracing betting has changed. It has become far less taboo, except for the state of Texas where it's sinful. But you get the idea. So, no matter where you stand on sports betting, there's a new question. What about fake sports betting? Remember the outrage? I'm trying to, every parent's had to deal with this. Remember those time period when you could use like fake coins? Your kids could start racking up all kinds of bills on their iPhones to buy stuff. And then, Apple got some heat. All the major platforms took some heat because it was too easy for our kids to get into our phones and then start charging stuff. And so, for good reason, we raised hell about it, etc. I don't know what you want to do with this. You'll likely read in several different ways. You're likely going to react several different ways to this. And I'm fine with any of them. I'll do my best to argue against you. And your reactions, I think, can cover any number of things because there are obvious questions. One, is it harmless? Is this just harmless fun? Is it just harmless fake betting? No different than harmless fake cigarettes. Is it harmless? Is it harmless fun? Is it a dangerous gateway to real betting? And I hate sounding like an 80-year-old grandma and saying things like a gateway, but a lot of people, I think, are going to say, are you kidding me? This is a gateway to the real thing. Is it legal? Should it be legal? Some people are going to say, what the hell, Jeff? Is this for real? Now, I can answer the last part because it is currently legal. And it is currently legal by a very important distinction. Now, having taught at the college level, this is actually something that's come up a few times, and that is betting is a game of chance. And so this has actually been litigated in the state of Texas and elsewhere when it comes to fantasy sports. And there was a movement, again, to show you how quickly the climate has changed. There was a movement to outlaw fantasy sports not that long ago because a lot of people, including the knuckleheads here in the state of Texas, argued that that's just a gateway to betting. It is, sort of. So the distinction for this being legal is that it is by description, a sweepstakes. The creators of the app claim it is a sweepstakes. In other words, it's not a game of chance that you do stuff like spin a wheel, and you're actually doing something to give yourself a chance to win. When you hear it, you're going to say, are you kidding me, Ward? What a stretch. I know. Hey, look, I know. I get it. I think your immediate reaction is, no way, no how, this can't be cool. If you have kids, you're going to just freak out. Young men bet more than ever. The opportunities are there more than ever. Is it a problem? Yes. Is it a problem for older men? Yes. But there is no denying. And all you do is have to have a teenage son or daughter probably, or college-age son, and you really start to see it and hear it. You know what they do? They are obsessed with fantasy, and they are obsessed with betting on games. It's a way of life. It is a way of watching games. It's a way of talking about games. It's just different. You're no longer fans. You're now fans of the numbers. And it's one of the reasons why the NFL is more popular than ever, to be honest with you. Now, you can ask yourself, are we handling this well? Are we being pretty responsible? And I think it's a legitimate question. And I think probably more responsible than many of us thought we would be, to be honest with you. But this game and this app is new territory. All right. Are you ready for it? Mom and Dad, Fliff. I probably wouldn't have done that name. I probably would not go with Fliff, but they went with Fliff. Not me, not my focus group, but Fliff. Fliff, F-L-I-F-F. And I'm going to be careful how many times I say it and the different ways that I do say it, because I think that could end badly. Fliff operates a social and sweepstakes sports gaming platform. Fliff has a similar look and feel to regulated sports books available throughout much of the United States, but offers a free-to-play experience. You know where this is going, don't you? This is the kiddie version. You know what's happening right now. I don't mean to throw off my rant. Garrett has immediately gone to Fliff, I'm betting. Are you on Fliff?
No.
Oh.
Nope.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Go to Fliff. While I'm talking, just go check it out. Spend all your money. I don't care. All right. So it's a free-to-play experience. But, kids, you get Fliff coins. And Fliff coins are used to bet. You're betting, but you're not really betting. Is that okay? Fliff is a, quote, social sports book. New term. Never heard that one before until I read the Washington Post today. Fliff is a social sports book that is available to play in many states. Since it's not a real money sports book, Fliff is not regulated under the same set of laws as platforms like FanDuel, Caesars, or DraftKings. Those things are heavily regulated. You know, I've argued with you many times. Gambling sites are so above board, it's not even funny. I mean, it is in their best interest to keep it legal, to keep it above board. They don't want it to be sketchy. Fliff, on the other hand, is not regulated like they are. Because Fliff is saying, why would we be regulated? We're not using real money. I'm sorry your kids want to play, but it's not even real money, Mom and Dad, so lighten up. What's the problem here? All right, like real money sports books, Fliff lets users make picks from the NFL, Major League Baseball, NHL, NBA, WNBA, college sports, UFC, boxing, tennis, golf, soccer, and esports. In other words, you can play every game you can think of. On top of that, with every pick you make at Fliff, you accrue XP, which helps you earn Fliff cash, and can be converted into gift cards from Fliff partners like Airbnb, Chipotle, and Domino's. So, in other words, if you do better with your chips, kids, adults, you get some stuff. You win. But it's not real money. It just looks and sounds like real betting. What do you think? Harmless fun? Icky? What the heck? Might as well. That's progress. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? We've all had the fight with our kids about, gaming. We've all had the fight with our kids about what are the games. I mean, you still could do this, but I remember perfect example is, was it Halo, where you could buy stuff. Like, you play the game, then you got to get some stuff to buy more things as part of the game. And a lot of people thought that it was preying on young people. I don't know that that's completely fair, but you get where this is going. This looks like it's a sports betting app. Anyone can play, which that means your 12-year-old is back there trying to decide, what to do with the over-under in this Super Bowl. And in return, they get to win some Chipotle stuff or something like that. I think a lot of people are going to react and say, this is a dangerous path. Now, I don't know how you ultimately regulate this, but I guess we could argue if you believe that pretend smoking, to my original point, pretend smoking is not okay and should be outlawed, then do you believe that pretend gambling should be outlawed? Okay? There. Now, let me try to make an argument. And I'm going to use the French and drinking. I'm not sure why this has just come to me, but here's my attempt at an argument. See if you buy this, because I do think we need to back off a little bit. And I say this as somebody who bets. And it's largely stupid. But I'd also like to say I'm a person who bets that stays in their lane pretty well. I know a lot of people don't. But I'm not quite sure as gambling has become, outside of the state of Texas, the nanny state of Texas, as gambling has become more accessible, completely accessible, I'm not sure we're abusing it as much as we thought we were. I'm not saying some people don't. I'm not going to minimize that, because I think we all know people that become addicts, and it's from hell. What I'm saying is, generally speaking, we have not seen the horrific effects of problem gambling. And I'm not minimizing. I'm just saying that a lot of people screamed, and I'm not sure I even completely disagreed. If you open up more betting, we're going to go down in flames. I'm not sure that's completely happened. We're not. The economy hasn't cratered. Most people haven't lost everything. Yes, we bet more, but I'm not sure we're doing it. I'm not sure we're abusing it to the level most of us had predicted. Agree or disagree with that? It's a generalization. I'm not saying that some people don't. But is there an argument to be made here? Here goes my attempt, and I'm going to tie in the French and drinking, or the Italians and drinking. Here goes. They know how to drink. They start at a much younger age drinking than we do. And you know what? Largely, again, generalizing, what they don't do, they don't abuse it like we do. They don't. They know how to drink. They learn to taste. Americans learn to get hammered. Europeans learn to taste. Americans, we are genetically. Our laws and our draconian view of sin makes it so wrong when we get a chance to do it, we abuse it. If you talk to, generalizing again, the French learn alcohol is not a taboo subject. They learn at a much younger age to savor. They learn at a much younger age to eat. They learn the same thing with food. Look what we do with food. We abuse food. The Europeans don't abuse food. Where are we going with this, Jeff? I'm saying, is there an argument to be made? So what if we learn to gamble at 14? Maybe we won't abuse it. I mean, it is a way of life. Are you? I don't know where you're going to fall on this. I don't know where you're going to fall on Fliff, and I assume if Fliff does well, there's going to be Fliffs all over the place. You'll hear it in the back of your car. Your kids aren't going to be talking about Candy Crush. They're going to be talking about whether or not they're going to cover the over-under for Fliff points. How comfortable are you going to be when your 12-year-old is talking to their brother or sister about whether Travis Kelce covers the 85 yards in the over? Is that terrible, or just way of life? It's scary. I know. I get it. I'm not thrilled with it. My point is that if Gambling now, in Europe, gambling has been around forever. They've not viewed gambling the way we viewed gambling. They have not viewed alcohol the way we view alcohol, all that stuff. It's much more open. And they probably have far less abuse than we do. You give us Americans a chance to abuse it, and we're going to abuse it. But we really haven't with gambling. We haven't been as bad as we thought we would be. Is there an argument that says gambling is going to be there for our kids no matter what? They're going to have a chance at the right age to legally start betting. Is there an argument that says, whether it's Fliff or whatever the copycat of Fliff is going to be, whatever. So what if they learn to bet? They'll learn to be responsible. They'll learn to do it. They won't abuse it. They'll be less apt to abuse it. That Ward guy's right. The French kids learn to drink. Why can't the American kids learn to bet? How's that? Helping? Hurting? Crazy? I think this is an interesting subject, and I think we probably should have seen this coming. We just didn't. But it's here. And it's what's going to happen in the back of your minivan if it's not happening already. Dad's going to be in the front betting for real. The kids are going to be in the back pretend betting. That's the American way. And then Dad at least can have conversations with the kids in the back. Hey, what do you have in the halftime in the over? Well, Dad, I'm going to win some Chipotle points on Flip. Dad says I'm going to win $300 or lose your Christmas gifts. You okay with us going here? If not, what do you want to do about it, taxpayers? Right? I mean, what do you want to do? You want that jackass Ken Paxton involved in this? All this is going to take, and it will happen. Somebody's going to say, yeah, my kid was in the minivan on Fliff. Next thing you know, there goes $300 or whatever happens that can possibly go wrong. I don't know how it goes wrong, but I think it probably could go wrong. And then your political heroes are going to pounce on this in an instant. The fact that this is now a mainstream story the week of the Super Bowl is probably great for Fliff and terrible for Fliff at the same time. But I don't think this is going away. I don't think this is going to be the only one of these. Your kid's going to be exposed to fantasy sports anyway and putting some money into it. Your kid's going to be exposed to betting in some way, putting your money into it. So are you going to be shocked that here we are with Fliff? And that's the last time I promised Garrett I wouldn't say Fliff again. 512-834-1027.